So I want to thank, first of all, everyone who's here for attending and taking time out to help celebrate this groundbreaking event. We're very excited to see this project finally moving. It's been a long time in the making. I'd also like to thank the sponsors that made this event possible. First, the Riverside Construction Company. They're the prime contractor for this development, or this road extension, and they've been delivering projects throughout Southern California from their headquarters in Riverside. So we're glad to have them on our team. Thank you. Second is Albert A. Webb and Associates. They provided the civil design and the environmental studies and processing for the continuing of this project. And they've also been serving out of their headquarters from Riverside since 1945. So they've been a great partner for us in the city. So briefly, this project is something that it's not just a road. It's been decades in the making, right? This should have been completed 30 years ago when we built Sun Lakes. And it's been going back and forth, a lot of stops and stalls from early 1980s through the 90s to 2000. And the city took steps finally, 2020. We stepped off with a new project design, and today we're finally being able to deliver on this design. So what does it mean for our city? Well, first, it means improve traffic flow, right? For too long, we've had one way in and out, and that was on Highland Springs, which got very, very congested. So the second thing it's going to do is enhance safety. Because of that bottleneck, it's very difficult for emergency personnel to get through to people in this area. And in the event of an emergency, it's very difficult to evacuate from this area. So it's going to provide much better flow for the locals and even some of the neighboring cities around us. And it's not just a physical connection to our, like I said, to our community. It also will impact everything around us. It's more than a road because it includes additional bike lanes, drainage, improvements, lighting, public transit, other resources that are going to bring economic growth and pathway to the city of Banning. So like I said, we've already completed the engineering design of the project. We completed the environmental reviews. We completed the coordination with all the non-city utilities and made sure that we did not impact their services. And we secured funding from our regional partners. And that funding is very, very important. And because of that, I'd like to take a moment and recognize those people. I'm going to introduce Councilmember Flynn, who can maybe elaborate a little bit more on our partnerships with our partners that made this funding possible.
As a member of the City Council, I represent the city as a commissioner on both the Riverside County Transportation Commission and the Western Riverside Council of Governments, both of whom have provided the funding necessary to construct this project. I want to acknowledge and thank the Riverside County Transportation Commission for the $13.5 million that was awarded to this project as part of their Measure A Regional Arterials Program. Measure A is a sales tax throughout Riverside County that is paid on all purchases. This grant returns sales tax money paid by members of our community back to our community. I also want to acknowledge and thank the Western Riverside Council of Governments through their TUMF, or Transportation Uniform Mitigation Fee Program, for the balance of the project funding. Together, the City of Banning, with our other members of our funding zone in the San Gregorio Pass of Beaumont, Calamasa, and the County of Riverside, allocated $20 million from this fee program for this project. This fee is charged on all new developments to offset the impacts of new development. Today's fee paid by development within our city will be returned back to our community. Without these partnerships, this project would not be possible. The city and this council, as members of RCTC and WRCOG, have built and fostered these important relationships that are critical to be able to deliver large infrastructure projects such as this. We have been able to leverage these regional transportation funding projects to reduce both financial burdens and physical barriers to better connect our city. I'd now like to introduce our next two speakers, Ms. Jillian Guazzato from the Riverside Transportation Commission and Mr. Chris Gray from the Western Riverside Council of Governments. Ms. Guazzato?
I'm so excited to be here today. My name is Jillian Casado. As said, I'm the Planning and Programming Director for RCTC. I'd like to acknowledge RCTC leadership here today, Commissioner Flynn and Commissioner Gutierrez. On behalf of RCTC, thank you, Banning, for inviting us to be part of this celebration, and congratulations on this exciting milestone. For the last 7 years, my role at RCTC has been fund administration and coordination with cities like Banning, just one of 28 cities in Riverside County. I was fortunate to lead the call for projects in which Banning secured local Measure A regional arterials funding for this project, so I know just how important the project is for the city and its residents. Partnerships like this bring projects to life. A couple years ago, Banning had a vision for constructing the Sun Lakes Boulevard Extension project, and actually, as we heard from the mayor, it's been a few decades, but in the case of RCTC's involvement, it's just been a couple of years. So a few years ago, the city applied for the maximum award it could receive from the call for projects, $13.5 million, and got it. The commission, which consists of 33 voting representatives from each city in Riverside County, and the Board of Supervisors, approved Banning's funding request in June 2023. Since the program's inception, in 2009, the commission has provided Measure A funding to more than 24 major arterial projects like the Sun Lakes Boulevard Extension, totaling nearly $200 million. Added to the $900 million returned to local jurisdictions for local streets and roads projects, Measure A has invested more than $1 billion in transportation priorities as determined at the local level. This project we're here to kick off today is a great example of how Measure A funds touch both the macro and micro levels of our region's transportation needs to improve mobility, safety, and connectivity across Riverside County. This Measure A funded project represents another investment in Banning's current needs and its vision for the future. As each of us who lives and or works in Riverside County is acutely aware, our population and economy continue to grow rapidly. Banning and the San Gorgonio Pass area are certainly no exception. With the Commission's leadership, RCTC has developed a transportation blueprint for the future that doubles down on addressing our region's transportation needs with projects that would complement the extension of Sun Lakes Boulevard. With strong commitment from our commissioners, partnerships with city and regional agencies, support from our residents, and investments from Measure A, exciting projects like the one we're celebrating today are possible. We look forward to working with each of you to bring more funding and therefore more projects to our region. Our residents and businesses deserve it. Thank you and congratulations again.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Chris Gray. As Councilmember Flynn said, I'm the Interim Executive Director of the Western Riverside Council of Governments. And I want to say we're giving you $20 million. I could just stop talking now. I want to talk a little bit about the history of the TUM program. Councilmember Flynn told you a lot about how the TUM program worked, but I want to go back to the TUM program started in the early 2000s. A group of elected officials in the WRCOG region, by the way, including the city of Banning, which is one of the founding members of the program, looked for a way to fund projects that a single city couldn't afford. So what they decided to do was create this collaborative program where money is collected from developments all throughout a region, in this case, the San Gorgonio Pass area. The money is then pooled and then given out to a single project. Using that approach, they created a program which WRCOG administers, which is one of the largest of its kind in the country. We think it's actually the largest. And it's collected over $1 billion, and that's funded over 200 completed projects. And TUM is successful because our elected officials are able to get together, meet, and decide how the money is allocated. WRCOG just administers. We don't decide how much money is given. We have members like, as I said, Councilmember Flynn, Mr. Cundia from Calamasa and Supervisor Gutierrez, plus the city of Beaumont, they all got together and decided to give this project $20 million. And so I did want to take a second to recognize the WRCOG TUMP team that actually does all the work. I don't actually do the work, they do it. So we have Cameron Brown, our TUMP program manager, Brian Cifuentes, our TUMP analyst, and Caroline, our newest TUMP staff member. And so I wanted to congratulate the city. We're excited to make this contribution. We want to see this project get built. I think this project's been talked about since I got to WRCOG 10 years ago. So I am happy here that we're going to see some dirt turning. Anyways, congratulations.
It's an honor to be here to finally recognize this groundbreaking here in the city of Banning for the Sun Lakes Boulevard Extension project. And one of the things that I think you heard earlier today is really collaboration. Collaboration amongst all the different cities from Calamasa, Beaumont, Banning, and the county. And truly, that's really what you see here today. But you also see, I think, perseverance. Perseverance, as the mayor mentioned, since the 1980s, they've been trying to work on this. And so, Banning has persevered, with public safety barriers and funding challenges for sure. I also sit on the TUMP zone as well, with Councilmember Flynn and members of Beaumont as well. And it's very important that we all work together to solve these mobility issues. And this is something that hasn't been 10 years since I've been on the Board of Supervisors, but the past 3 years that I've heard this being a major issue for the city of Banning. So I just want to congratulate the city of Banning for their efforts in pursuing this, and the residents. You definitely deserve this. And on behalf of the County of Riverside, we would like to present you this certificate of recognition for this groundbreaking, Mr. Mayor.
So again, it's been a long time in the making. The extension is more than a roadway, as we've all heard today. And these types of projects position Banning for long-term success, and we could not have done it without all of our partners. So once again, thank you for that. With no further ado, after decades of delay, I'd like to ask my fellow council members to join me as we turn dirt.